Hello YouTube, I have finally decided to upload to this channel, and what this channel is going to be about is essentially me kind of reviewing and analysing things I'm interested in, whether it be music, books, film or events. And today I want to talk about Eurovision 2023 and being European. It's something that I look forward to every year, and I know it finished 3 weeks ago, but honestly it's taken a lot of courage for me to actually be able to film this video, because I'm a bit of a social hermit, so this is not really my sort of atmosphere. It's just time, and time doesn't really mean anything. 3 weeks, 3 years, what difference does it make? So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the final, what I thought of each country's performance and whether I thought the results were justified. So yeah, come along for the ride. Weird. So yeah, Austria were the first country to perform, and I really liked this song going into the final. It's one I had in my top 10. It's just so catchy. The sort of you know, it's a dynamic song. You know, you've got pop elements, electronic, a bit of rap in there, and opera. So it's a very dynamic song. It's an earworm for sure. And it has like an important message, you know, about like how people in the music industry don't always get the credit they're owed. But I think the performance of the final kind of lacked in that they didn't really have the stage presence to pull it off. Although the vocals were great, they were just kind of like standing around. And I think because they performed first and they didn't really carry the performance, that people kind of forgot by the end about the song, unfortunately. Yeah, so they get 16 points from the public. That's really quite shocking, and jury gave them 104 and they came 15th overall. Yeah, and as I said, they were in my top 10, so I was expecting them to get higher, but yeah, I think they just needed to give it a bit more oomph. But it's still so catchy, that po 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 po. It's gonna be stuck in my head forever. So Portugal went next. They were in the dreaded second spot, and if you know anything about Eurovision, you would know that nobody has won when performing second, and obviously the same happened this year. So they sent Mimicat with I Coração. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Really, I don't really have much to say about the song, you know. Call letters in Portuguese, they tend to do that, Portugal, so that's cool. And I think the Portuguese sort of culture definitely had a strong influence in the sound of the song as well. Very charismatic performer and very strong vocalist. But yeah, the song, I mean, it's something I could have heard in Eurovision like 10 years ago. It didn't really do anything for me, and yeah, I'm not surprised the public didn't like the song, and the jury didn't like either. They got 16 from the public and 43 from the jury, and evidently they came 23rd overall, and I'm not surprised. Yeah. So yeah, Switzerland went next. Remo Fore with Watergun. I probably butchered that pronunciation. Yeah, Switzerland are definitely becoming known for the country that sends ballads. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. It didn't pay off last year, and yeah, it didn't really pay off this year either. Again, same with Portugal, the song itself does sound a little bit dated, you know, it's not entirely kind of unique lyrically, but it has a powerful message, you know, it's anti-war, and I liked the performance on stage. The choreography was really impactful, and yeah, his vocals were really, really impressive. Yeah, so I mean, he came 20th place, so I'm not surprised. It just lacked the sort of unique edge really to carry it any further up the board. So next performance, Poland. Blanco was solo, and this was a shocking kind of qualifier for me, because it's not a very good song, let's be honest. It's not, and it's even more shocking that the Poland juries chose this over Jan Gladiator, which is an incredible song. I think I heard somewhere that is because it came across as like demonic, which is a bit odd. So yeah, like the song is kind of like something you would hear in like Primark or like an advert for some sort of hair brand or something. The vocals weren't impactful. The visual effects were quite cringe, and yeah, I mean they came 23rd and the jury didn't like it, and I'm not surprised. Yeah, the Polish jury really let themselves down this year. I think if Jan was chosen, they could have got top 5 for sure. Yeah. So Serbia were up next, Luke Black with Samo mi se spava, and I think based on the results last year with Constructor, you know, which I don't understand, I thought that was a load of rubbish. They wanted to send something unique again this year, hoping it would have the same effect, but it didn't. Whilst I appreciate that Luke Black wrote and composed the song himself, that's really impressive. It just wasn't suited to a Eurovision stage, more suited to like, so it's a game. I think that's obviously what he was going for with the staging and everything. Definitely had a very retro feel with the synth in the song. But yeah, lyrically it was lacking. Yeah, the song just does not suit Eurovision at all. Yeah, they ended up getting what, 16 from the public and 14 from the jury. When it came 24th overall, which I think is fair based on the song. So France were next, Lazara with Évidemment, and this was another one of my favourite songs going in. I had it in my top 10. It's just so funky and groovy, that sort of groovy bass going on. It's so nice to listen to. Also, I just love the French language, so yeah, bonus points to that. I suppose if it's France, they're probably gonna sing in French, aren't they? Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, a disco track. I like the fact that she was on stage by herself, elevated, you know, the amount of confidence it takes to do that and to put it off, and she did. She pulled it off great. She sounded amazing, and yeah, I'm very disappointed with the results for France. It came 16th, and the public and jury vote were almost even, 15 and 54. And I liked her reaction to that. She essentially flipped off the camera, I think, which is understandable. She deserved better than that. Yeah, very elegant, classy. I loved France this year. So next was Cyprus, Adam Lambro with Break a Broken Heart. I really don't like the name of the song. You know, it says what, double negative. You know, I think it's impressive that he started off the song with a high note and he hit it, and he hit all the high notes actually. He has a very, very good voice. But yeah, it's kind of another dated ballad, you know, there's nothing unique to it. I like the staging though, it was kind of atmospheric. Yeah, lyrically nothing new. Well, they came 12th overall though, and it was a shock, wasn't it? Like Greece only gave them 4 points, the jury, and that was shocking. That was unexpected. Yeah, I mean, a decent result though. 12th place, I think they deserved it. For the vocals and the performance, but yeah, the song itself, not my cup of tea. So Spain were next, Blanca Paloma with Ea. And I did not understand this song at all. They wanted to go for, I suppose, something specific to Spanish culture, and that's definitely how it came across. And yeah, it didn't appeal to anyone really. I mean, they only got 5 points from the public. I know, I suppose sometimes it's not really good to send something so unique, because yeah, how is, you know, the rest of Europe going to relate to something specific to Spain? Yeah, it just sounded like she was kind of howling throughout the whole song, like summoning something. She was like gonna summon something from, you know, hell. Yeah, I'm not surprised they came 17th place. Not my cup of tea this year either. So Sweden performed next, and obviously they went on to win. And going in, they were the bookies' favourite, so I mean, and they tend to get it right. So I mean, it was no surprise anyway. It was Loreen. I like the song. I suppose I'd be lying if I didn't. I like the intro. But it is very reminiscent of Euphoria in that it kind of starts slow and then it reaches a crescendo. Even like the contemporary choreo is quite similar, even though she's obviously in like I don't even know what to call that. Yeah, she sounded like she was shouting sometimes. Although overall her vocals were very good, and yeah, I knew as soon as we knew that Loreen was going back, the jury's willing to eat that up. She's already won once, so she's quite famous in the Eurovision world. Yeah, I mean, not surprised she won, but also, yeah, it would have been nice if someone else did, honestly. So Albania went up next, and I don't know, I don't really think much of Albania and Eurovision. They kind of sound, their entries kind of just sound the same. Very similar composition, and yeah, it was the same next year. Interesting that they sent their family though. That's something we've never seen. So there's that sort of it's uncanny. Yeah, I mean, vocally they were great. But yeah, this wasn't for me this year, and yeah, the jury only gave them 17. I'm not surprised. And 22nd overall. Yeah, not for me this year. So Italy were up next. They said Marco Mengoni with Due Vite. And this was surprising for me this year. I'm surprised it did so well. Not a particularly unique ballad. Like, he sang it very well and it's very emotive. But yeah, nothing really stood out about it for me. I wonder if he's just quite famous and that might be why. I mean, yeah, well, he got more public, more votes from the jury, just about like 2 more. Yeah, I preferred. I mean, I don't know if anyone can top Måneskin for me for Italy. It's kind of a cultural reset for Italy in Eurovision. Yeah, it was sweet enough, kind of heartwarming, but yeah, it didn't really stand out for me. So Estonia were up next, Alika with Bridges, and I put this in my top 10. It's a nice ballad. Her voice was really impressive, and I hear she's only 20, so that's even more impressive for someone so young to put on a performance like that. Yeah, I think they definitely deserved 8th place, because Estonia definitely, I think, underappreciated in Eurovision. Definitely the underdogs, although they only got 22 from the public, which is shocking to me. She definitely deserved more from the public, but still, 8th place for a powerful ballad and a great performance is justified in my eyes. So Finland were up next, Karja with Cha Cha Cha, and this was my favourite going in. I had this as the winner for me, and I mean, they did win the public vote, so I think the public wanted Finland to win as well. I love the way the song sounds. It's a mix between rock and electro, very colourful, kind of messy, but in a good way. He can't, vocally it wasn't very strong, but he pulled it off very well. I love the choreo. It's so easy to engage with the song. It's an earworm. It's a lot like it's the same energy as Who the Hell's Ego, with the po 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 and the cha 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 cha. And yeah, I'm glad it's been so well received. It's in the UK charts at the moment, which is really amazing. Yeah, it would have been so good for this song to win, because I think it really just kind of encapsulates what Eurovision is about. It's crazy, it's party. So Czechia were up next with Vesna and My Sister's Crown, and this did kind of disappoint me, like the live performance, because the studio version is so nice to listen to, especially the chorus with like the harmonies. Oh man, it's like being enchanted. It's so wonderful to listen to, but yeah, it didn't really come across in the performance. I really appreciate that it's like a celebration of Slavic language, because it's in Czech, Bulgarian and Ukrainian, right? And that's really impressive. It has a folk vibe about it. But yeah, I think the performance, yeah, it lacked vocal impact for me. I think it was quite cool that they were kind of swinging their hair around. That was really interesting, I suppose. But yeah, I'll still be listening to the Eurovision because I really love it so much. And they came 10th, which is a really good result. I had them in my top 10, so yeah, I'm happy for Czechia. Australia were next, and I'll be honest, when I first heard this song, it just kind of gave me dad rock vibes. I don't know why. Yeah, it's an interesting song, you know. Progressive metal is something I've not really heard much of, and I like the fact that they kind of, Australia came this year to really show that they could do something great, because they really struggled the last couple of years, and I imagine they were probably considering withdrawing, but now hopefully they won't, because they've proven that they can do well. I love the melodies in the song. I love the way they kind of made the Eurovision stage their concert. They really engaged with the crowd really well, really charismatic. And yeah, the jury loved them, gave them 130 points. I believe Portugal gave Australia 12 points, which was surprising, but yeah, good on Portugal, and they came 9th overall, so hopefully this is a good sign for the future for Australia in Eurovision. So Belgium were next with Gustav and Because of You, and this is another song I had in my top 10. Very camp, obviously very camp, obviously fine, it's Eurovision, that's kind of the vibe I tend to go for. Very 90s house vibes, which I really like. Staging was great. I love the kind of contrast between the black and white and the pink. And Gustav, you know, he loved being there. He put on such a great performance. I love how he engaged with his dancers and backing singers. It was just a great performance overall. And there's a positive message. And yeah, I think they definitely deserved 7th place this year. So I'm happy for Belgium. So next up was Armenia with Brunette and Future Lover. This was another song I had in my top 10. The lyrics were a little bit weird though, especially with the smoothies at near cafes. That's an odd lyric to have in a song. But she sounded great. She sounded really kind of mature. She's so young, and she put on a really good show. The stadium was great, very atmospheric. And yeah, a good result for Armenia, 14th place, not bad. The jury liked it more than the public. Yeah, good on Armenia. They did a good job this year. So Moldova brought the party this year, as they usually do. I loved the vibe of the song, kind of folk with trance. Yeah, no, they never really take themselves that seriously in Eurovision, which I like, and they tend to do well because of that. I mean, they've done well in the last couple of years. But yeah, they didn't impress the jury this year. They came 18th overall, which is fine. They're just there to have a good time, I think. So yeah, good on Moldova. So Ukraine were next, Forchi with Heart of Steel. And I really like this song. I love the way it sounds. It's kind of got like a, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's not drum and bass. It's not fast enough to be drum and bass, but it has that sort of electronic kind of bounce to it, which I really like. Sort of thing I listen to, very modern. The singer's vocals did lack a little bit on the night. But yeah, I mean, it has a powerful message. It's called Heart of Steel, and we all know what's going on in Ukraine, the war. So yeah, I mean, good result for them. The public were behind them, and they came 6th overall. So yeah, good on Ukraine. It's a shame they couldn't host it this year, but I think the UK did a good job on their behalf. So next up was Norway, Alessandra with Queen of Kings, and this was also in my top 10. Yeah, like the Nordic countries this year really didn't come to play. They were really serious about winning, and yeah, I love the way the song sounds. That sort of really kind of heavy bass. I love that sort of sound. The message, you know, about being a powerful woman, and she sure did come across as that on stage. A lot of confidence for someone so young. I loved the costume she was wearing. It did remind me a lot of Six, the Six musical. Yeah, She had great vocals, sorry. She had great vocals, but I kind of just wish she kind of maybe moved around on the stage a bit more, but maybe she was just saving her energy for that high note right at the end, but she did really well. According to my notes, they got 216 from the public, but only 52 from the jury. I don't know if that's right, but if it is, that's very low. I don't know why they only gave 52 to Norway, the jury, but I think they've done that in the past, haven't they? They've kind of undermarked Norway and given more to Sweden. So that's not very fair, but I mean, they still came 5th overall, which is a great result. And I know I saw a video of her being really happy for that result, so yeah, good on Norway. They put on a great show. So next up was Germany, and I really feel for Germany. Lord of Lost, Blood and Glitter. Yeah, Germany they haven't quite found the recipe to do well at Eurovision. You know, every year they kind of send something different. It's just not worked for them, unfortunately, which is unusual. You think that would be appealing because, you know, like look at Sweden, for example. They always do well and they never send anything unique, but surely sending the same sort of thing every year should be boring. But yeah, poor Germany. They're showing that they have a lot of range in that country, but yeah, it's just not paid off for them. I didn't really like the song very much. Kind of camp. Not in a good way either. It just felt a bit odd. Yeah, the vocals weren't strong. Kind of like musical theatre as well. Like, I don't know, it felt kind of like a fever dream, really. You know, it's a shame that Eurovision in 2020 didn't happen because I really love that song from that year, Ben Dolik and Find a Thing. I think if had happened, that would have been Germany's year to do well. So I'm gonna blame the COVID curse on them not doing well. Yeah, they came last. Like they did what? Did they come last 2 years ago? Or his sister? Yeah, three from the jury. At least they got 15 from the public. The public were trying to soften the blow. Poor things. Yeah, I really feel for Germany. I hope they can do better in the future. So next up was Lithuania. Monica Linked with Stay. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Vocally was great, you know, but the song itself is not very unique. It's the sort of thing we've heard a lot. I love the choir in it though. That did elevate the song for me. Just generally quite heartwarming, but yeah, nothing particularly unique at all. But I mean, they got a good result. They came 11th. So yeah, not bad, but not great either. I didn't really feel the song that much. So Israel sent Noah Carell with Unicorn, and this song gives me the same vibes as Slow Mo last year in that the song itself is not very good. But yeah, the performance really sold it. You know, like singing about like having the powers of a unicorn, a creature that doesn't exist, is a bit odd. But yeah, she really sold the performance. That dance break was really, really impressive. Yeah, they came 3rd overall. Yeah, it was a very, very powerful performance. But yeah, the song itself is not very good. So next up was Slovenia, Joker Out with Carpe Diem. Nice bit of indie rock to break up everything else. Kind of found it interesting that he did kind of look like Harry Styles in what he was wearing. Very confident performance, you know, very stable vocals. But yeah, I think Slovenia have sent similar, like, was it last year? They didn't qualify for the final. Yeah, you know, it didn't have much impact at the end of the day. And they came 21st. Not last, but yeah, not first either. Yeah, I didn't mind it. It's okay. So next to perform was Croatia, Let 3 with Mamat. I think that's who Mamat it. That's the noise he was making throughout the whole performance. They definitely brought the comedic relief for this year, and you always have to have somebody do that. yeah, I suppose it does still give an important message. You know, it's like mocking the sort of greedy world leaders, you know, like Putin. Yeah, like the song itself, you know, there's not really much to say about it, but like it was a fun performance, and they put on a good show. So yeah, the disparity between the public and the jury result was quite huge. So like the public gave them 112 and the jury 11, and they came 13th overall. Yeah, not for any particular reason, I think, other than people just wanted something fun. Yeah. So last performer was obviously the UK, Mae Muller with I Wrote a Song, and I saw a comment under the performance, the live performance for this, which was like, I wrote it, she wrote a song but she couldn't sing it, which is a bit harsh, but that's kind of what happened on the night. You know, vocally she was not strong and she just wasn't really in it. I think she was really scared, which is fair enough. She's 25 and she's performing in front of what, 100 million people. But yeah, that's kind of what lost us the points on the night. I mean, at least we didn't come dead last. We came one from last. But I find it quite interesting how, when we do perform that poor, Germany's always close by. I don't know. Yeah, Germany and UK are in this together. Yeah, I really wish that the UK would send like rock again, like last year, like a rock ballad that did. Sam Ryder did really well last year. And it'd be cool if we sent a song in a different language, you know, Welsh or Gaelic, to really show kind of Europe that we have range in terms of language. You know, English is not the only language spoken here. So yeah, not a great result, but at least he's got some points. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously Sweden won, which means Sweden will be hosting next year. And they've now tied with Ireland as having the most wins in Eurovision. And it's also ABBA's 50th anniversary next year, which is a little bit suspicious, if I'm being honest, but whatever. I love ABBA. I love Eurovision, so it'll be a great show next year. And also Luxembourg are back, which is interesting. I think it's been quite a long time since they've been in there. I don't know what's prompted them to come back. That'd be cool. And I've also heard somewhere that New Zealand might be trying to get involved, which is really, really cool. So yeah, that's what I thought of Eurovision this year. I'm hoping to post more videos soon about, you know, other things, about music. Yeah, I've got some like K-pop albums I want to talk about. So yeah, if you like that sort of thing, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate that this is a bit of a ramble of a video and I'm not the best at speaking, but I'm very introverted and this is hard for me. I'm hoping, you know, the more I do it, the better I'll get. That's the same with anything really. So yeah, please consider liking and subscribing, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.